Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. The Russos released an official Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer, and the Thor teaser trailer that's supposed to be playing in front of Avatar Fire and Ash next week has already gotten out, so we'll break it all down. There's a bunch of Easter eggs here, as you could probably see. There's even a lot of teasers baked into the Russo brothers teaser that they released. This is just the beginning. The reason why the Russos released an official version isn't because of the leaks, it's just because the official marketing for Avengers Doomsday began in a formal way. Like, the actual people at Marvel are purposefully releasing stuff. As far as we know, maybe they were behind some of the leaks too the past couple of days. We joke about this all the time, but Marvel really does leak stuff on purpose sometimes to purposely generate hype. Like, they turn Tom Holland, Mark Ruffalo, Spoiler Bros into actual marketing energy for themselves. Starting at the beginning here, the whole idea is the Russo brothers posted a countdown, essentially, counting down to the actual release date next year in December 2026. The actual date that the first showing of the movie will be in theaters, like the earliest you could possibly see it, unless you're able to steal into Marvel's vaults and grab a copy of the movie early. We joke about that, but I remember a couple days before Avengers Endgame hit theaters worldwide, and it was a simulcast, so it aired around at the exact same time in every single country. Just a couple days before that, somebody grabbed a copy of basically like the entire end of the movie and posted it online. It was crazy, like the biggest leak you could possibly imagine. In the middle of the countdown, though, the Russo brothers teaser glitches out and it spells Doomsday in text. If you ever had a calculator and you played with it as a little kid in class and made it say all kinds of crazy stuff, that's basically what happens here. At the beginning, the slate depicts a particular scene in the movie that they were filming. The way you read the slate numbers is it's roll A12 of the camera that they're using. It's a camera roll, like actual film roll, but because Marvel films everything digitally, it's not an actual physical camera roll like Christopher Nolan films on actual film cameras for a while. Scene A5 means it's at the very beginning of the movie. It's the fifth scene of the A camera roll or first hard drive, the very, very beginning. And it's the second take of the scene they're doing, meaning they filmed the scene multiple times because somebody messed up the first take, like take one, or they didn't like it, or Robert Downey Jr., if it's really him in the scene, wanting to try something different with another take on the scene, which they do often.
I feel a storm brewing.
Hold on, if we don't play that back, I'm canceling the press tour.
I think they chose this particular scene for the slate to depict in the teaser here because it's probably Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom, just a scene with him. And the whole theme of the movie is Doomsday, a day for doom, both metaphorical and literally the character coming for the MCU, the X-Men universe, and the Fantastic Four's universe, like all the characters. Your doom is coming, the doom of the MCU, but also Dr. Doom is coming. The Agbo logo next to the Marvel Studios logo on the slate is just the name of the Russo brothers' production company, Agbo Films. You see it all over the place now. At the bottom of the slate, this is typically the way that slates look in Hollywood when they're filming movies or TV shows. At the bottom of the slate, it says their names as directors, and their cinematographer on this film is Newton Thomas Sigel. He also did the Russo brothers' Tom Holland movie, Cherry, a couple years ago, so he's worked with them before. Supposedly the Russos are also going to release something official tomorrow. It might just be a poster for the movie. Whatever it winds up being, I will include it in one of my bonus videos. Or if it's like an actual full trailer, of course I will do a video for that too. But I'm not expecting a full trailer. In the leaked Thor teaser trailer that's supposed to be releasing next week, it's actually him in a forest praying as if he's praying to Odin in Valhalla, saying, "Of all the crowns, the kingdoms, the pride, I ask for none. Father, hear your son, I am not worthy of life, but still I beg you to let the thread lengthen." He's talking about the thread of his life. It's also meant to be a reference to Loki's multiverse tree with the threads of timelines in the multiverse. He goes on to say, "Not for thunder, not for war, let me remain long enough to see my love once more." And it's a reference to his adopted daughter, Love, from the end of Thor Love and Thunder, the actual character, who in real life is actually his daughter that they just put in the movie. That is his real life daughter. In the context of the MCU, it's Gor's daughter that was then rebirthed, like brought back by Eternity, which is why the movie Thor Love and Thunder coined her as the Child of Eternity. Also the reason why she has so much power. Eternity is the living embodiment of the MCU itself, the 616 universe, just one universe. So in all the different universes, there's a different version of Eternity across the multiverse. There are versions of the same characters in almost every single universe in all the Marvel movies, but for a couple really special characters or very powerful characters, there's only one version for the entire multiverse. Galactus is a good example of that, like there's one Galactus for the entire multiverse. It's a little bit different in the comics than it is in the actual movies and the TV shows. In the movies, there's one version of Galactus for the entire multiverse. It's different for the comics. There's like a version of Galactus in every single universe in the comics.
Everything proceeded correctly my entire life until Thanos attacked our ship.
Just the same as there's versions of Thor and Loki in every single universe, there's versions of the Celestials in every single universe, there's versions of the cosmic entities in every single universe. But then we get that tag message that Thor and Loki will return in Avengers Doomsday, and another version of the countdown timer that we saw at the end of the Russo brothers teaser. There's going to be a version of this countdown timer behind every single one of the teasers, and they'll probably continue the theme next year with all the other different trailers. So each time they promote it with some new clip, the countdown timer will just change to be more accurate to how many days are left before the first showing of the movie happens worldwide. I know there's going to be a bunch of questions. What's been going on with Thor since the events of Thor Love and Thunder? What's been happening to Loki since the end of Loki Season 2? We will dig into that. There was some other stuff that leaked out recently too. There was a whole-on Avengers Doomsday X-Men theme music that just leaked, or it could just be the general theme of the whole movie. But the reason people thought that it was the X-Men theme from the movie is because it was so X-Men coded for the original X-Men 2000 movie, like it was that theme song remixed with the Avengers theme. I can't actually put it in this video for copyright reasons, but if you've listened to that original X-Men theme, it's basically like that. They used a version of it during the Avengers Doomsday teaser for Chair Watch that the Russos released a little while ago. Imagine like a bigger version of that. As far as Marvel has said, since the events of Thor Love and Thunder, a couple years have gone by, not that long, but a couple years, and he and Love had just been going around the universe, helping races, fighting in smaller wars, pretty much exactly what you see at the end of Thor Love and Thunder. Like, that's pretty much it. Very simple character, just loves going around and getting in fights. This time, trying to actually help people, but still basically doing the same thing, just going around getting in fights all over the galaxy in the universe. Just because the leaked teaser has him saying that he wants to get back to his love, his actual adopted daughter, I think that means that she will not be in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars. You may be Secret Wars, there's always a small chance just because there's so many other characters are going to be in that aren't in Doomsday. But honestly, I would be totally fine if Marvel never brings that Love character back. Like, if they want to recast the character with an older person many years down the road and bring her back, that'd be totally fine. But I don't think she's really that critical to the actual story that's happening during Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars. Like, you don't need the character. This is mostly, especially the teaser, about bringing Loki and Thor together again, even though technically it's a different version of Loki that this Thor, the original Thor from the MCU, has not met because his Loki was killed by Thanos during Avengers Infinity War. Getting to the other question too, what happened to Loki after the end of Loki Season 2 when he became the God of Stories Loki and the custodian of the multiverse? A lot of people have asked since they revealed that they were going to be doing Avengers Doomsday and it would do a version of Time Runs Out and the incursions heading into Avengers Secret Wars. If Loki is so powerful and his whole job is protecting the multiverse, then what happens that causes the total collapse of the multiverse in Doctor Doom becoming God Emperor Doom? Why would Loki let that happen if he has the power to prevent something like that? Just imagine that Thor Ragnarok scene, just to call back to that joke. You had one job to do, protect the multiverse.
You had one job.
My early assumption is it'll have something to do with Franklin Richards' power, the power cosmic, Doctor Doom's magic and technology working in combination, and then becoming a version of God Emperor Doom from the comics, but obviously changing the comic book plot because I don't think they're going to do the Beyonders. Something to basically turn Doom into God Emperor Doom in the context of the movies that will make him more powerful than Loki and be able to do all these things that will lead to a version of Battleworld. Just because Loki now has control over time and space without the need for spells, special magic, or any technology like Doctor Doom would need, doesn't make him all-powerful. He's just much more powerful than he was before. Probably the other biggest callback that people will be talking about heading into this too is who do you think, which character, Thor or Loki, will repeat the line, "The sun will shine on us again, brother"? Personally, I think that it would make more sense for Thor to be the person to say that to this Loki because this Loki never experienced the original version of that. He wasn't the one that actually said that. That Loki died. This is a different Loki that just saw that on playback inside the TVA. So like he saw it happen, so like he's probably familiar with the line, like, oh, but he didn't experience it himself. So just imagine Thor being reunited with him saying, "The sun has shone on us again, brother, finally." present tense, the sun is shining on them again. And probably the other biggest Thor thing going on in the next several years beyond Secret Wars is Chris Hemsworth teasing Thor 5. Kevin Feige has also talked about it. It sounds like they're doing it again, and it'll be another Thor Ragnarok type of reimagining, rebooting, soft rebooting of the creative behind the character. It kind of feels like the Russos are using Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars to do their own little soft reboot on the creative behind the character too, in the way that Destin Daniel Cretton is using Spider-Man Brand New Day to do that for the Hulk character, do like a creative reset for the Hulk as well as a creative reset for the Spider-Man Tom Holland character into his next trilogy as well. Marvel does stuff like this all the time. Thor Ragnarok is the best example of that, where it was like a soft reboot on the creative behind the character. Obviously, long-term didn't pan out well because Taika Waititi isn't coming back to do any more Thor movies now, for obvious reasons. But you get the idea, continuing with the same version of a character, but just doing a soft reset on the creative so that it feels like the beginning of a new era for that character, not just like the next 5th or 6th film in a franchise. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below, and if there's any Easter eggs or references that you spotted in the newer teasers that I didn't talk about in this video or my previous videos, just write them below in the comments. This is just the beginning, early days. We will probably see more stuff like this over the next couple of weeks, and if we're going to get those other 4 or 5 teasers or however many teasers they wind up releasing. Things have gone full meme with this whole Marvel rollout of all the teasers. We will see what they officially release online. Hopefully they just put everything online eventually with nice shiny HD versions, even though it is fun to watch all the cam rips. Whatever winds up happening, of course I will do all the videos for it in the next couple of weeks, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that stuff. Everybody click here for all my Avengers Doomsday trailer videos, and click here for that Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.